Okay, I guess I'm just gonna have to call this why the left has left the left. Uh, I still don't see myself as a libertarian. I still think of myself as a leftist because all the base ideas, uh, views, goals I want for society, they're still the same. I still believe in unions, obviously collective bargaining. I think that goes hand in hand with the free market. And I think there should be some social controls on things. But it seems like now, when I say now, I mean it's during the period that I'm alive is it happened. It's not the ideals that I like. It seems like there's been this strange strain coming out from you have to say communism because that's where it comes from. This type of anarchist spirit of always picking on or harassing a nation state, just shaming it like you need to. This way of guilt. Penn and Teller compared it to indulgences uh, on their TV show Bullshit. Uh, the government making you, or not the government, but people telling, and when I mean people, I mean just individuals who believe themselves smarter than everybody else, that always concentrate on the bad parts of it. The opportunists, not the people who actually want to, okay, we need to get this done, we need to work together, but people who just uh, ridicule and demand and actually don't try to solve things. Put together like committee for this or that. And it's kind of funny, even when I was active in far left politics, that's pretty much what it was. You'd start, I mean, and it's just so silly now. I mean, it's ridiculous. Whenever I was at those things, I always wanted to beat everybody up. Nobody seemed working class. It was the total opposite of like this isn't. I thought I'd be there with, and when there was people were there, when there was other people who were from lived any type of normal life, the people who would be speaking would be college kids, and their audience is a 45-year-old Mexican guy who's worked 3 jobs all his life. There is nothing that kid can tell him. You can't. I mean, going to school too much just screws you up a little bit because you forget just the real world. I mean, and it seems like that element has grown in it. The left in the 40s in America wasn't communist. It wasn't, even the 50s, 60s, you had two sides to a debate, but it wasn't just this harassing, horrid element. And it's funny, day and age, I never thought I'd say this. I actually do not believe I'm saying this right now. The Republican Party is less crazy. Like, every stereotype they make out, and Republicans are nuts too. Don't get me wrong. Like when I say Republicans, I mean the horrible elements in the party, not everyday people. I think when we start saying Republicans, Democrats, we forget that that's the other half of the country. I think you need to single out politicians, but it doesn't seem like anybody living in. I don't know if you took a politician from the '60s and showed them the two parties in America right now. I think they'd be just dumbfounded. Uh, there's kind of an obviousness to the world of how things are done in the real world. It seems like to me. But pretty much anybody who lives and works has an idea of and things that Democrats are saying that need to be done. Like just no taxes are ever going to solve anything. They already have enough money. if businesses can work efficiently, why can't I mean the government is supposed to be for us. That's ours. It's a people's government. It's not some right-wing state thing. We already have a people's government. We can use that. We don't need anything more. We don't need more government. Left originally was not big government. It was a people's government. And every time you got weird type of Soviet-style communists, that's what they do is they just build the government bigger. Totally destroyed all the ideas that come up in, of people trying to free and liberate themselves. Because if you go back into the past, America would have been considered left wing. It would have been thrown out there, since now we're giving that term to anarchists and everything like that, which seems self-defeating. There's communists who use anarchy and may call themselves anarchists, but they're using it for a communist goal. If you actually want pure anarchy as an end, it seems like you'd have something like libertarianism. You wouldn't have narco-syndicalist communes and weird crap. It's just strange that this comes in and says, all right, now this is going to be, we're redefining the word. When we say the people's government, we mean this small group of intellectuals that will basically exterminate a population. I think everybody blamed nationalism after World War II, but it was this form of socialism, this form of government incursion that was mixed with nationalism, because you can call France and England nation states, nationalists at that time. It was the socialism that screwed everything up. And if you're on the left, do you have to be a socialist? No, you don't have to go into the. And back then there was no difference. People say, "Oh, communist and socialist," as if those were the same thing for a long period of time. And now they somehow just, we have two words, so now they have to have two different meanings. And there's just a whole slippery slope on the left. Whatever happened to a basic people's government? If you're actually for the left, get active in your community and do something. But do it your way. Usually when people say that, they immediately have these just odd ideas. Like they're going to tell people something. Why don't you actually go do? And the funniest thing is that the one place socialism works, that is the church. They go out and actually do build stuff. And that's been a small government. And it's really weird. The Catholic Church gets a lot of crap, and I know I give them a lot of crap. But they did save civilization in the West. You can't really. Oh, it's the worst thing. They kept writing alive. If there would be none of those histories. Yeah, they would adopt. Eventually, those countries would have had to adopt some type of Latin alphabet. But I don't know. It's just strange. If you look at from where government starts from, what we came from, ruling from kings, and then watching the religious bloodbath that happened in Europe, and we said we didn't want to repeat that, so we're not going to. It's going to be people ruling and have a different government, render unto God, God, and Caesar. Now I know from an Orthodox perspective that doesn't line up. I'm talking about America. I don't live under an emperor, so I can't speak to say, this is a blessing or whatever. The Romanov line ended in Haile Selassie in the Syriac line. There's no more Orthodox kings, or emperors, so we can't. Would have been better under that religious life, of course, but even if you go back and look at when the emperors had his hands in things in the beginnings of Christianity, Constantine he flipped Arian. You had a bunch of emperors that were endorsing Monophysitism and all weird types of stuff. Basically, the reason why we're probably, and I don't mean this critical way, why we accept Chalcedon and the rest didn't. If state power had been the opposite, we might be opposing seven councils, and if Islam hadn't rose up. it's just strange to think about. I think the church is much more healthy outside the state, and I think we need to, any corruption in the church we actually need to clean up. The two, if they were together in the past, they're not. They're certainly not ready to meet right now. Uh, I don't think we would have a right to establish any type. I mean, God. That's something God could do, and I think that period's over with. But this whole, it just saddens me to see this whole political, just, and it just, yeah, it irritates me because I come on here and yeah, I'm usually for the left, and then I start thinking about it, and that might get interpreted really bad. Uh, but I don't know. I basically believe in the innate goodness of man, so I guess that shifts a lot of that would shift most things. If you don't believe in original sin, because original sin, you'd get the same outcome of Darwinism, just man eat man, murder, kill, survive, nihilist type of thing, right? So I don't know. I'm gonna end this video. So all right, this is me rambling. My bad. All right, peace.